Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the greatest content from 2004, if it would have been released in 2004. This is my legendary Halo 2 guide slash review, kind of, for new and old players of the game. This is kind of in the style of Civ 11's content. I highly recommend you all check it out. I'm using the MCC, but we're playing in classic graphics because I'm a Giga Chad. Without further ado, let's get into it. Halo 2, Covenant on Earth. Now, Halo 2 went through some of the worst development hell in the industry, so it definitely has problems. That being said, the community is in a constant toss-up between Halo 2 and 3 as the best game in the series, and personally, I pick Halo 2. Anyway, we're going to be beating it on Legendary today. Halo 2 Legendary has an incredibly infamous reputation throughout the community. It's the most challenge you can put yourself through in the entire series outside of Lasso. There is no not dying playing this way. You will die. A lot. So if you're a first-time player, play on Heroic and enjoy the game. As for the rest of you, here we go. We begin with the first level, Cairo Station, the hardest first level in any Halo game. You might think that they'd go easy on you with the monumental amount of changes in this game compared to the first, but they don't. Speedrun the boring tutorial. You get some new armor from the last game. It has less shields but recharges faster. Cutscene time. Humans are celebrating not dying, while a random elite is getting punished for not making the humans die, when suddenly a group of Covenant ships begin heading for Earth and its surrounding weapon stations. Grab the SMG and battle rifle right off the bat. The battle rifle is a solid second place in terms of overpowered Halo weapons, underneath the Halo 1 pistol. Parkour up to the balcony here to get the jump on the bad guys as soon as they break through the door. Here you meet the Grunts, who are your plasma pistol dispensers throughout the game. They have different ranks, but it doesn't matter, just shoot them in the head. And you meet the Elites, the tall shielded tanks that will give you constant trouble throughout this game. Their rank matters a lot. Blue ones are the weakest and can be taken down with bullet weapons in a pinch. Red ones and above are definitely worth taking their shields down with a plasma weapon. Purple ones can be invisible, jetpack ones we'll talk about later, gold ones always have a sword, and finally, the white ones have the most health, are often dual wielding, and will pull out their swords if you piss them off. The elites are always going to inflict pain, and will be the reason for most of your deaths. Well, maybe not, but we'll talk about that later. Take their shields down with a plasma weapon and shoot them in the head, but do not engage multiple of them in the open. Anyway, back to the level. Shoot the grunts first. The less things shooting at you, the better. Grab a plasma pistol if you can and begin to exercise the noob combo. For those of you unaware of the noob combo, it's simple. Overcharge your plasma pistol, shoot a shielded enemy, switch to a precision weapon, headshot. In Legendary, this is borderline necessary to even beat the first level. Use the turret to clear out some of the guys for free, and make your way to the door of the hangar. This is where it gets mean. Do not jump down onto the floor. Take your time, don't miss your shots, and pick them off. You get grenades here for the first time. Use them anytime the enemies float off the boarding craft, or when you have an elite shield down but can't shoot them. Clear the room and look at the PNG of the MAC gun exploding. It's actually faster. Bad guys are going to break through the door behind you. Do not let them kill you or you have to clear the room again. Take the ammo you desperately need and get ready for one of the worst rooms of the level. Snipe the turrets here and try to take out the grunts on the floor. There are a lot of elites here. Pop in and out of cover to slowly thin their numbers. There are more waves than the last room, and the last wave has a white elite and a gold elite, so do your best. Don't try to use the sword on the elites because they're just going to melt you. Anyway, if you somehow succeed, make your way back to the armory. I made the mistake of missing the free battle rifle on the floor and tried to clear the next room with a sword. I failed. Use the sword against the invisible elites, then go back for the BR for the big room. Shoot the turret and clear the room. Jump and crouch in midair while moving onto the platform that the turret was on to skip a bunch of enemies. Clear the next hallway with your friends and get ready to go into space. Okay, so this room's gonna give you a lot of trouble. As soon as the door opens, 2 jetpack elites are trying to disembowel you. Jetpack elites are particularly dangerous because they're always dual wielding and easily flank you. Try to nade them and use the low gravity and a crouch jump to get up higher than you're meant to be. Use a grenade and jump up here to get to the way top of the area to get the jump on the 3 elites ahead. Go through the door for yet another problem area. As soon as you go into the open, you meet the drones. These are flying insects that use either the plasma pistol or the needler to ruin your day. You're supposed to be able to one-shot them in the head, but good luck with how fast they're moving. Just hide behind the barrier next to the marine and peek out like just a bit to take them out one at a time. After they're dead, get a decent vantage point and clean off the elevator. Take it down and welcome to space. Now the jetpack elites have a turret. Noob combo and pray. Take the E3 elevator down into the final room of the level. This room is all elites and they're ready for you. By now you're probably running low on plasma ammo. Save it for the beefier ones. Lob a bunch of grenades on groups of them and hope that their shields fall. Noob combo the white elite and you've done it. You've beaten Cairo Station, one of the hardest levels in the game. If you can do this, you have a good chance at beating the rest. Next up, Outskirts, the first level on Earth, and a rather infamous one. It's quite simple. The Covenant are invading Earth. Kill as many as you can. But we're gonna skip most of it by crouch jumping. Jump on the light on top of the door and crouch jump on the angled ledge and you're now on the roof. Grab the skull if you want an achievement and follow the path that I take. You can grab the Rex Sword for another achievement, and boom, you're at Hotel Zanzibar. Congratulations, you've skipped half the level. Kill the turret elite and enter the darkest hallway in existence. Lay some grenades for the enemies that are about to storm in. Once outside, skip the fight with the Phantom and run down to the ghost below. Guarding it, you can see the newest enemy in our roster, who we're catching a little bit late. The Jackal has an energy shield that you really shouldn't waste your time shooting. Shoot them in the hand, and when they raise their shield, they're hit. They're basically grunts that you need a few brain cells to kill. Grab the ghost and get ready for some bullshit. There's no strategy to get past this next section. Just simply go as fast as you can and don't hit obstacles and you might not die. Sometimes the ghosts blast you away and sometimes you're killed in one shot by Halo 2's most infamous enemy, the Sniper Jackal. This Jackal has no shield but is extremely dangerous because it will quickly kill you in one shot. He will only miss once, if he misses you at all. Kill on sight and good luck. Get through the beach with trial and error and enter the tunnels. This section is worse than the last one. It's possible to speed through here. I've done it before, but it's a matter of extreme luck. You're better off picking off the high damage enemies in each group than speeding through and stopping to restore shields once they can't hit you. Then you come upon these ghost transport vehicles that you can either cheese by following them very closely behind, or you can just shoot them, or, you can even speed past them. Once you're past them, speed through the enemies and the obstacles into the clear road, and you have completed Outskirts. Don't worry, Metropolis is easier than the last two. That being said, it does have a contender for hardest room in the game. Your objective is to destroy the Scarab, tank the tank instead of the Warthog, and then point and click on any ghosts that come up. Delete the Wraith and you're halfway across the bridge. Watch out for the Phantom's turrets and the Banshees that spawn behind you. Banshees are your first priority if you can get away with it. Once you're in the tunnels again, you're in the clear. And the hurt begins. This next room is completely filled to the brim with almost every combination of Covenant. 2 elites rush you down to ruin your day, and they're covered by a Sniper Jackal who has a bloodlust. Get past those 2 and another sniper spawns. Kill that sniper, you got 2 more elites and a load of jackals. You try to take cover on the right and you find 2 invisible elites waiting for you. And if this all wasn't enough, 1 more Sniper Jackal who has a sword elite behind him. It's just awful. But once you escape hell, you find yourself out in the open. Hit the Sniper Jackal. It's obvious they want you to snipe the enemies, but we're not going to do that. Take the path on the left and hug the wall to try to sneak away. Once you enter the next section, snipe the 2 Sniper Jackals near the Wraith and use the rocket on the ground to take the hair of the ghosts if you can't snipe them. Try your hardest to get a ghost and boost past everything, and then you get to the long part. Shoot any ghosts on sight and then get out and deal with the Sniper Jackals on the bridge. After they're dealt with, Hold the fire button on the first wraith and take a nap because it's going to be a minute. Go into the bridge after the first wraith is gone and shoot at the next two that you can't shoot you because of the bridge. Or, in my case, try to shoot them but take so long that the scripting breaks and the game lets you progress anyway. Now comes the big cheese. Go upstairs and grab a full sniper and rocket if you don't have one. As soon as it's possible, jump on the scarab's gun, crouch down on its left piece, I guess. You should be able to look through the scarab now. Through this wall you can take care of any enemies without them being able to shoot back. Take out as many as you can before the scarab has to turn and jump up the highest section before it can fling you off. Make sure you have at least 3 rockets to clear out the red pilots and the white elite. And then you've beaten the ever-so-mean Metropolis. Next, we got one of my favorite levels as a kid, the Arbiter. This continues to get easier than the last levels. The punished elite from the intro has been given a chance for redemption by taking the suicidal mantle of the Arbiter. Basically, you do the Prophet's dirty work. And in his first level, you're going to be in a floating gas mine occupied by a group of alien heretics that don't believe in the bullshit that the Prophets say to the Covenant. They're technically the good guys, but they do some bad things, and you gotta kill them. Keep your finger on that cloak button. You will be abusing it. A constant strategy is to use cloak to take out the most important enemy. Almost 100% of the time, that's going to be the Heretic Elite, which is just like a red elite, I think? Only he has a carbine or a sentinel laser. Oh yeah, they also have one fatal flaw I'll talk about later. It's pretty funny. There is also heretic grunts, which actually could cause you a lot of problems because they don't flee. They either have the plasma pistol or the almighty needler, and that needler will reduce you to atoms very quickly, and there's a lot of them, so kill on sight. Exercise the sword. Normally there's a group of enemies guarding this elevator, but my game glitched, I think, because I skipped so many enemies in the first area. Down here, you're going to find your first Forerunner enemy, the Sentinel, who flies around and has a laser and sometimes a shield. They're a complete joke, unless you're overwhelmed by other enemies. You should cloak again to get to the bottom floor and sneak by using the pillars. Let your allies in and sneak, or fight, I'm not your dad. When the heat dies down, a group of heretics are going to come from the basement door, including a sword heretic. He has no mercy, keep your distance. Keep cheesing around with the cloak. And now I end up getting a bad checkpoint right after sneaking around the fusion coil conveyor belt room. So, I abused perhaps the most egregious glitch that Bungie left in the game. The Heretic Elite's melee literally does not work. And that is extremely important because normally melee one-hit kills you. As you can see, I had a lot of fun with this glitch and eventually used it to escape. Get to the Banshee hangar, it's easy to sneak by. They put you in a room with no cover and a load of enemies ready to ambush you, which would be a problem without cloak. Steal a Banshee and listen to that sweet, sweet incubus. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, time to do the easiest skip of the game. Instead of following your allies to the left side, you want to go to the right side where there's the blue light, and then you can hop out at that top section away from the enemies and cloak into the door, and now you're done with the Arbiter. Yeah, you skipped it all. Except you aren't really done with the Arbiter. You got one more level. And it's a big one, with a lot of cheese. And it sucks. Oracle introduces the Flood and does it poorly. It turns out that the heretics have been storing and experimenting on Flood. And because of your arrival, the Flood have escaped containment. Deal with the Flood and kill the heretic leader. At first you meet the infection forms, which die in one hit, and Elite Flood, which are Flood with extremely weak shields. They're pushovers in this level. Exercise the sword. Now you're on the elevator from hell. It's not that difficult, but it is boring. Shoot the bad guy. Once you get close enough to the bottom to jump, do so to skip some of this damn elevator. Or if you need to make lunch, jump off the side where I do if you don't want to fight the enemies. Now guess what you do after the wave defense elevator. Wave defense, that's right. But there's heretics now. Kill as many enemies as you can without jumping down. After you jump down, you can sword lunge at enemies on the second floor to make your way to jump back up relatively safe. And you meet the Flood Carrier form, who explodes out infection form. Shoot them at a distance, then cloak past the heretics that open the door, and now you're through. Easy. Chase the leader to the cutscene, and now you have to cut the cable, holding the station up in the atmosphere to kill the power. but this will literally send the station hurling into the planet, so you're on your own from this point. Cloak and parkour your way up to the elevator, cloak and gun it to the first cable. Then you can use the supports to get to the next one without getting shot at, and it looks cool. Get the third one done, and easiest room in the level. I think it's funny how even the floods stop attacking you to look up as the station starts separating from the cable. Now comes the running away part of the level. Take the elevator and jump straight down where the heretic leader was. Abuse cloak and run. The yellow room is going to give you trouble. Try your best to run past it all. Really just solid snake your way through the whole chase. But don't be afraid to shoot the bad guy if you have to. Woo, Banshee section. Ah, it's over. Keep running and now you're at the first boss fight of the game. Sword the guy on top of the ship. That's the real heretic. You can tell which one isn't a hologram by which vent the voice is coming from. Honestly, the faster you kill him, the better. Toss some nades in the vents if you really want to cheese him. And yeah, that's Oracle. I hate it. Time for a fan favorite, Delta Halo. This might be the most balanced level of the game. After following a Covenant carrier that hyperspaced from Earth, after you killed that scarab, you end up at the second Halo ring. So now we gotta stop the Covenant from activating this one. Kill them all. Use the rocket on the turrets and take a BR from an ally. You can just skip this section if you don't want a Warthog by literally walking past it. They give you a tank in the next section and you'll be using that. Be ready to die a few times against the group of snipers ahead. Trial and error with these. Snipe out the turrets and as many ghosts as you can. Gun it for the building and activate the bridge to claim your prize. It's another tank section. Point and click. Watch out for the Banshees in the beginning. They're dicks. Once you can't go forward anymore, you're at the, temple? Here we have a great cheese for non-MCC players. Go to the left side and jump where I do. You'll need a grenade. At the top, you should find 2 friendly dancing cloak deletes and a skull. Pick it up, and now the Master Chief has a cloak, just like the Arbiter. This doesn't apply to MCC, but you do get an achievement. Go near the entrance of the temple and wait for the weapons to drop. Use the power weapons on the group directly ahead and get back to the noob combo. Do some shoot with your nice friends. And then you get to Sniper Jackal Valley. Surprisingly, this isn't the worst area the game puts you through. Ideally, you'd want to have some Marines to help take some of the enemies out. There are going to be a bunch of waves of drones, and, you know, always good to have decoys out there. Once you're about halfway through the valley, sniper jackals spawn, and they're covered by trees that you can kind of see through. Go backwards and grab a beam rifle from the waterfall. Take the left path, taking out any snipers you see. If you keep fighting pretty well, you should get out of there without issue. See, it's not nearly as bad as that tunnel in Metropolis. I'll take care of you, baby. Now, you might want to go straight to the weapons ahead, but it's a trap. Shoot the 2 sniper jackals on top of the building and kill the drones. Then get to the weapons and kill the second wave of drones. Make sure you got that noob combo ready because you're about to make these elite honor guards look like a joke. Honor guards have swords more often than usual, so keep your distance. They also have the coolest armor in all of Halo. Fight me. Once they're dead, you are done with Delta Halo. Regret is yet another great level, but not on the level of the last one. Now, we realize we're making our way towards one of the 3 leaders of the Covenant, the Prophet of Regret. In doing so, you're gonna have to put up with 2 rooms of pain. But for now, just take out any sniper jackals when you see them and push to the gondola arena. Here you meet the hunters, who you would have met many missions ago had we not skipped them. They're a mini-boss type enemy that come in pairs. Shoot them in the orange taint, or sticky nade them. Look, just do whatever you gotta do to take them down. Beam rifles are especially effective. You can juggle some decent weapons onto the gondola by swapping between the one you're in your hand and the one on the ground. The first ride is pretty easy. Just make sure you snipe the jackals at the temple again. Shotguns work pretty well against the bugs inside. Get in the pod and experience the prettiest section in any game in 2004. They say if fish swim through your pod, it's good luck. Yeah, polished game. Make your way to the underwater base. Once you get to the big hologram room, the pain starts. Another contender for worst room in the game. Sniper jackals everywhere. Waves upon waves of drones. Honor guards pursuing around. and two hunters that spawn right when you get near the exit. This room legitimately has more security than the room with the prophet in it. The beam rifle is your best friend in this room. And with this many jackals, don't worry too much about ammo. Get past that and you get to the camo room, which is actually a pretty cool idea. Nice to see what Cloak looks like against the water. It's a total cakewalk on classic graphics because the camo stands out way more. Get to the pod and the next space is much easier. Once you get to the exit, run back inside and witness the amount of guns firing at your position. It's insane. Take them out slowly and you will get some more weapons and allies from a pelican. There's more jackals ahead, including one you can't see unless you jump. So jump shot him like it's CSGO. You should probably juggle some more weapons onto the gondola. You'll really need them on this ride. Use the rocket to delete the banshees. The jetpack elites on the other gondola are going to give you pain. Kill the rocket grunts as fast as possible, then snipe the jetpack elites, and you should be golden. Snipe the guys at the temple. Cutscene. More of the Covenant have arrived. Ah, shit. Make sure you have enough BR or carbine ammo for the next room. You really need it. Watch out for the white elite inside and get ready for the 2 sword honor guards inside the main room. Honestly, if they didn't put grunt plasma pistol dispensers in this room, you'd be so fucked. Noob combo the shit out of any honor guards. Grab a sword if you really want to try to speed through this boss fight. It's just regret in like a hunter gun chair. Really easy to avoid, but you can sword lunge at him to mount him at range, what also does bonus damage, killing him faster. If you get overwhelmed by honor guards, hang out in the water underneath where regret was at the start. The elite pathing seems to be messed up and they can only jump in at one spot. If everything goes well, you beat the boss fight and hopefully don't get melted as soon as he's dead. And that's all that regret has for you. What a mean level. Next is probably the most universally hated map in the game, Sacred Icon. Now, I don't think this map is going to win any awards, but I do believe it's overhated. It looks pretty when you're not inside of the repetitive corridors, and it shows you some things you've never seen before or since. As the Arbiter, you're going to the Sentinel Factory on the second ring to grab the Index before the humans do. The Index is the key to activating the ring. Except the only way through is through the quarantine zone, which had the flood contained until the humans ruined all that. Anyway, into the level itself. It starts off pretty easy. Run through the same hallway a bunch of times and ride down the silly slide. Once you get down to the gondola, sensing a theme, activate the pillars and central controls without killing the big sentinel, which is called the Enforcer. If you do all that, he just explodes for no fucking reason and you get to save ammo. You also get to meet the Gold Sentinel around here, which has a stronger beam and shield. Carbine works well against them. Anyway, once the gondola stops, you're now in flood territory. Kill some guys until the doors open, and you get to return to the same looking corridors again. Woo! Only now you get to deal with the human flood, which are much bigger problems than the elite flood. Human flood can have a shotgun, the rocket launcher, both of which can one-hit you. Use extreme caution fighting them. Not that it matters when they're targeting you. Abuse your cloak to get through the next section and it makes things much easier. Take the extra long slide down to the surface and you're at the coolest part of the level. You can see the factory in the distance and a ship crash. The snow is lit up by green lights and holes in the ground. Just beautiful. And you get allies that won't die immediately now. Just cloak past this first section and you get to meet Halfjaw again from the first Arbiter levels. He can't die, so while it may be tempting to take his sword, leave it and he's going to clear a lot of enemies for you. There's a speedrunner skip to skip some of the waves here, but you really don't need it, and this area is prone to soft locking, so I wouldn't chance it. Kill all the flood and Sacred Icon is finished. Nice and easy. Now we got Quarantine Zone, which is a bit more trouble than the last map, but it can be shorter. See, the Flood know how to use tanks now, and you never want to be near them. Take the Ghost instead of the Spectre and boost over the railing to skip the first room. Honestly, most of what you do is boost past everything because it's much easier than fighting. You can get inside of that crashed ship from the last mission, and it's pretty cool, but you can just cloak past everything. It's afterward that it gets a little bit tricky. The only vehicle you're getting is one that you can steal from an enemy, and there are a lot of enemies shooting at you. Remember your grenades. Get a Ghost and boost past, and oh god, they can use Goss hogs? Get in the building for fun cutscene time. Now, I'm sure you're sick of gondola rides by now, so don't worry. You can skip this one. Kind of. If you go up to the way back to the gondola and jump onto the supports all the way up and jump into the pillar, you're completely safe from all the enemies. Now you can go get your lunch, and by the time you come back, the mission's almost done. Go into the Halo 1 library and quarantine zone is done. Now, dear viewer, we enter perhaps the most infamous mission in Halo's history. Gravemind. After the Master Chief kills the Prophet and the Arbiter is betrayed by the Brutes, they're both captured by the Gravemind. The Gravemind is a tentacle flood monster that represents all of the knowledge the Flood has accumulated through infection. And he is here to send our two heroes on the right path so they can stop the ring from being activated. He does not know where the index is, so he sends the two characters to two likely locations. The Arbiter to a temple that activates the ring, and the Chief to High Charity, the teleporting Covenant Holy City and Central Base. Unlike Sacred Icon, most of this mission is considered to be good. There's just one problem. The spawn room. Yeah, you're going to be melted extremely quickly after the cutscene ends. And even after getting through the spawn room, the level's going to give you hell. Now, you may notice you're getting shot at by a new enemy, the Brute, who you may have seen if you watch cutscenes. There are many variations of the Brute. You got your regular Brutes who sometimes have a small metal plate on their head so you can't just one-shot them. The Brute Captains who have a flag, cap, and Brute shot, generally. And Brute Honor Guards who have a better helmet and Honor Guard armor. All the variations have a tendency to go berserk if you damage them enough or kill other friends, and they'll charge at you to melee you extremely quickly. Your two strategies with Brutes are spam their helmets until they pop off and headshot them, or just use the many forms of explosives. Brutes are easier than elites, but still a worthy challenge depending on their numbers. And when they are guarded by the many jackals in this level, you will die. A lot. Anyway, abuse all the cover you can in the spawn room. Whenever enemy waves spawn in, try to sneak in their doors for a pretty good cover spot. Make good use of the carbine. Don't be afraid to use the Brute plasma rifle if you gotta improvise. Finish cleaning up the spawn and get through the hallway to get through the first bullshit door of the level. A good strategy for any door that has many enemies waiting near the entrance is plasma grenades. The enemies generally have a reaction animation, making them perfect targets. Take the lift and toss a grenade down for the sniper jackals that are in High Charity for some fucking reason. Continue to exercise the carbine. Don't pick up plasma pistols just yet. You won't be dealing with elites until the second half of the level. Grab a Brute shot, then jump down to a lower level in the prison section. You don't want to be on the same level as a group of enemies. Save your Marines, then do it again. These guys are goners, but yeah, you tried. Take the lift, and the elites are here. Don't try to rush past these guys. Spam them with the Brute shot while backing up. Run past the hunters and keep running past the Brutes and one-tap the sniper jackal in hopes of a checkpoint. Without that checkpoint, you're going to have to deal with hunters, Brutes, and sniper jackals in the next rooms every time you die. Beam rifle is a good way to go. Memorize the enemy placement and clear the room. Run past the enemies by taking the right path. Keep sneaking and taking out guys when you gotta. The next encounter hurts. You got a sword elite, regular elite, turret grunt, and 2 jetpack elites with almost no cover. This part sucks on heroic too. Try to run past them all by stunning the sword elite with a plasma pistol and taking the lift. Toss a grenade on the 2 brutes waiting for you on the lift and attempt to get away. Hope for a checkpoint and clear the room. Another lift, skip the grunts, uphill battle against brutes, another big outdoor section, sneak by using the left path, kill the brute and let the 2 sword elites get sniped by the sniper jackal, kill the elite and clear the next room, jump onto the right balcony, noob combo the elite, leave a nade trap for the enemies coming in and get past the room. Yeah, let the enemies kill each other in the next section. Whenever drones spawn, try to back up as far as you can to cover. Beam rifle the hunters and finish off the upcoming enemies. Time for the Breaking Benjamin's room. Only take out the enemies that you gotta. Let them kill each other. After all, it's clear you're gonna have a real mean group of elites coming in as a cleanup crew. Use one of the fuel rod cannons on them and switch back to the noob combo weapon when you're out of ammo. Once they're dead, push forward and you're done with the hardest level in the game, Gravemind. You can do this. This next level is a contender for best level in the game. Uprising has a lot of cool shit going on. Arbiter gets to take revenge against the brutes who wronged him alongside fellow elites and grunts while seeking out the index. You start out with only one gun to emphasize that this is rebellion, and you don't have the full might of the Covenant behind you anymore. Until you find a sword right before the first enemy. Yeah, whatever. Solid snake the brutes by using cloak and alternate routes. When you get to the cave, jump onto the high path on the right, and you might be able to skip some enemies. Brute shot and sword will work until you find a carbine. In the next room, stick a nade on the guard and take out the rest. In the next room, drop straight down to the bottom level and use your ally's spawn door as cover. Now you get to the bullshit door of the level, but it's okay, because we have a crazy skip right after it. Use the fuel rod and switch back to the carbine for the rest. A group of brutes and a high-priority sniper jackal will spawn when you get near the rock. Take them out and hop onto the high path on the right. Grenade jump near the tree onto the lowest section of the cliff, and climb up to the top of the mountain. Run over to the lowest section of it and crouch in the corner, and you have hit the ending cutscene trigger. Yeah, Uprising is done. Back to High Charity. The Flood are here. They're here to annoy you, because somehow they hijacked the human capital ship and crash landed on High Charity because the Gravemind plays 5D chess. Also, the level is dark now. Really dark. You actually need your flashlight. But this level is much shorter than Gravemind, so don't worry too much. Let the Flood kill your enemies for you. Flood are much easier to deal with than brute packs. Take the lift and grab the beam rifle to snipe the drones with. Don't just take the next lift without killing these guys because it's borderline impossible to deal with them up close. And now it's fucking dark. The Flood's most formidable weapon is the light switch, apparently. Do your best to run through everybody as the Flood kill the Covenant for you. Watch out for the Sword and Rocket Flood in the next two big outdoor rooms. Take the elevator and get to the hardest room of the level. Right before you can enter the Prophet's chambers, you gotta deal with a pack of honor brutes, jackals, grunts, and Flood who are spilling around you from the walls. Honestly, just hide in the back corner after waking everybody up and sword through the Flood from there. Take the lift and find a skull literally floating in the middle of it. Easy achievement. Run on the right side past the enemies and stand next to Cortana as Master Chief's journey on High Charity is completed. Final level, the Great Journey. It's really fun because it's really easy. Take the Spectre and ride around. Hijack a Wraith as soon as it's possible and delete any threats. Go inside the temple and experience the coolest moment of the game. You get to fight alongside hunters. And they aren't nerfed because they're on your side. They make the next rooms easy. Get to the prison and free more of your friends. Shoot the shield generators on the floor and the brutes gotta deal with white elites and the hunters again. Nay on the last group of brutes and look the scarab in the eye. Somehow Johnson got free of the brutes and hijacked the scarab like a Chad, so you get to fight alongside a scarab too. Take a banshee and fly past everything, then head back and deal with most, and you'll see that most of the enemies are despawned. Help Johnson with some of the wraiths, and now you gotta deal with the banshees. Honestly, hardest part of the level. You gotta kinda exploit their AI by rushing them before they can do anything. Bonus points if you can hijack them midair. Johnson gently opens the door for you, and now you get to play Predator. Sneak under the floor immediately. A group of brutes are going to come rushing in. Take advantage of the fact that you can see through glass and they can't. Cool stuff. Now comes the worst boss fight in the game, and it's the last one. It's easier than the other two, but you will still die because this requires endurance. Tartarus has a shield that you can't easily break, but Johnson will break it with a 3-round burst from the beam rifle. It is at that point that you need to unload on Tartarus. The brute plasma rifle seems to be the way to go once his shields are down. Just spray him down. He has so much health that you'll wonder if you're doing anything to him, but you are. Every now and then, a pack of brutes will come from the other entrance. When that happens, get away from Tartarus and take him out before they delete you. And when you eventually kill Tartarus, you will know that you've beaten the final level of Halo 2, the Great Journey. Your reward for your efforts is one of the biggest cliffhangers in video game history, which no longer hurts that much because you could just play the next game in the MCC. Arbiter, with the help of Miranda and Johnson, use the index to stop the ring from firing. The Oracle tells you that there's an entire network of other Halo rings controlled by one place called the Ark. Master Chief does not find the index, so he steals a ship from High Charity and hitches a ride back to Earth without Cortana. Cortana is stuck on High Charity with the Gravemind, and she now has to resist the mental torture of it until the Chief can save her. Roll credits. You also get a highly coveted achievement to flex on your profile and the satisfaction that you've beaten the hardest Halo game on the hardest difficulty. But seriously, play these games on heroic. Anyway, that's about it for me. This part is off script. I'm just talking to you directly. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I really have a hard time doing long documentary off script videos like this. I kind of have a speech impediment that comes out in these situations. My fucking throat is so sore right now. So I really hope that it was worth it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys like it, I will probably make more in the future because I love Halo. I love old school FPS. I'm not going to waste your time. You have a good rest of your life until I see you again. Wow, I'm terrible at outros. Get out of here, please.